FEMDOM. Making him into my sissy slave. Erotica sex stories. BDSM, forced feminization, and sissification. Yes, goddess. Written by Riley Anderson. Narrated by Nikie Monroe. Chapter 1. Intimate Temptress. Natasha Belov wasn't the typical concierge working at Corinthia Motel, St. Petersburg. But that didn't mean she wasn't beautiful. No, Natasha was a gorgeous woman with the absolute combination of brains and beauty, but not in the way in which you may anticipate a waitress should be. She wasn't tall and slim. She didn't hang out with any particular group to chill out. She didn't hang with a specific group so far as that is concerned. Natasha was one of the top students in her university batch before joining Corinthia. This was no little accomplishment for a small-town girl from Rostov, especially in a town filled with rich, wealthy inhabitants. In spite of her intelligence, Natasha didn't gravitate toward the scholarly person, bookwormy clique, nor did she straightforwardly distance herself from them. She was one of those rarest young women who young men secretly worshipped and young women grudgingly regarded. In fact, her 3 senior staff from the front office department that made up the most popular clique of girls in Corinthia thought Natasha was a cool chick. Although she didn't keep running with the usual cool crowd, they admired her and always sought out her enlightened opinion on the latest fashion, dating men, and media and celebrity gossip. Natasha joined Corinthia as an assistant staff monitoring the reservations of the guests. Within 6 months of her appointment, her dedication and intelligent way of handling matters pertaining to disputes regarding booking and reservations had paved her way to the deputy waitress manager in Corinthia. Pleased with her enthusiasm and commitment to the organization, the senior management had rewarded her with salary, benefits, and perks much higher than the employees of similar grades. Natasha was a strong, independent woman with the courage to be the best version of herself. Yes. It takes courage and strength to become who you really are and you want to be. And Natasha always tried to become her best version, exploring her true potential. And her true potential was her realization that she was not made to walk on the planet. She was made to fly. And the sky wasn't her limit, it was her home. Her ambition was to become a flight attendant and explore the world with new eyes, meet new people, dream of places she'd never imagined, and discover a love so perfect that it was almost never meant to be. And joining Corinthia was just the first step to achieve her goals. Physically, Natasha was compact, just 5 feet 5 inches tall. But God had taken unremitting toil to craft this gem of a woman. She had blonde hair that resembled the continuous waves of a waterfall, enormous green-colored eyes, mesmerizing enough to captivate anyone's senses and pierce through the soul. Not thin, and certainly not fat, Natasha possessed the exquisite curves and tempting edges giving her a statuesque shape. Natasha had a pair of stunning rounded buttocks that resembled 2 large hemispherical scoops of ice cream. Every year, ample amounts of flesh added up to her succulent chest mounds, giving her the most tempting cleavage that could make her ardent followers' jaw drop to the floor. Indeed, she exhibited herself as a prude, although she'd figured out how to avoid being labeled thusly, thanks to her charming personality and overall feminine charisma. The entire male hotel staff and her neighborhood chaps had unquestionably accepted that she had to be a fabulous lay. However, the ones who said they'd had her were immediately marked as liars. Most young men agreed Natasha had the best seductive curves in the whole world that could raise the dusty dick of an 85-year-old elderly person, not to mention a horny youthful chap. Having quite recently turned 23, Natasha was more youthful than the boarders who frequented Corinthia. Furthermore, being alluring as she was, she drew a considerable amount of attention from the male guests in the motel. In the beginning, Natasha was taken aback by their aggressiveness, yet in time she started to value their brazenness in the way they would ask her out without even batting an eye. "I'd like to check into my suite and have your phone number," they would state, and Natasha would chuckle and state she wasn't interested. But during the 2018 FIFA World Cup, something
Sample complete. Ready to continue?